Hey, my name's Steven, coming at you from Florida.
Hello, y'all. This is Kevin coming from Texas.
My name's David. I'm coming from the heartland, Ohio.
And welcome to the Brothers Born Podcast. And we're excited to talk to you.
Yes, we are.
Hey, welcome back to the Brothers Born Podcast. It's a brand new year. It's going to be great. 2021 and fun, baby. And we have a special guest today, a good friend of the family, Dawson. Say hi, Dawson.
Hi.
So when I was growing up, every time I went to Dawson's house, there'd be some rando there. I'd be like, hey, Dawson, who's that guy? And Dawson would say, oh, friend of the family. And like it'd be like another random person I've never seen before, and I'm pretty sure Dawson had never seen that person before either. But it was a friend of the family. It's like an ongoing thing. So Dawson, we have seen you before, but welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys having me on.
For sure.
We're gonna dive right into continuing our villain discussion right off the bat with the robots from the Matrix. Kevin, I'm gonna let you introduce this topic and kind of give us your 2 bits, and then we'll chime in.
All right. Well, this was kind of like one of the first ones I thought of, because if you look at the whole Matrix franchise movie from the machine's perspective, it takes a very kind of different view, Because if you think about like the Morpheus even says like there's a war between the humans and the machines, and at one point the humans are the ones that black out the sky so that the machines can no longer function. So of course, machine's solution was to use humans as their batteries, which sounds kind of like grotesque and evil, but when you think about it, think of it from their perspective from a moment. You're at war with your enemy, right? And they like basically, because humans need the sun just as much, so they basically sacrifice themselves just so they can stop you. That's kind of weird if you think about it. Like the humans are really jacked up in these movies, and then on top of that, you look at like the humans that are not in the Matrix. So without the sun, they have limited resources. So they're basically, and they're continuously removing people from the Matrix. So they're adding to their population that already doesn't have the resources. So the humans are a villain unto themselves. The machines, they're using humans as batteries, but they plug them into the Matrix. In the Matrix, they're giving them a good life. Like the humans in the Matrix don't know that, the earth sucks. They're just like chilling, living everyday life, which is why I say machines are actually the good guys in that movie.
Interesting. I didn't think about the fact that the humans blacked out the sun. I watched the movie last night in preparation, and like that is kind of messed up, actually. Like just to black out the sun to get rid of your enemy. But I don't know, man. Those robots are pretty evil. I mean, look how wicked looking they are. Like all those tentacles and junk.
Just because they look wicked doesn't make them wicked.
That's right. We probably, anytime you see somebody new that you don't know, that looks different to you. Like you don't have to assume automatically that they're wicked. I mean,
That's true.
Go back to the civil rights movement, or go back to when Columbus came to America. The natives weren't wicked, but you thought they were, maybe because they look different. You got to be open to it.
I guess my biggest argument is like if it was just a question of whether if they're just in the middle of a war, then that's kind of like a mass, it's kind of a messed up way to like kill your enemy from either perspective. But the fact that the machines like they're only defending themselves, and not only they're defending themselves, but they're actually in a way helping the humans by providing them this life in the Matrix that would otherwise suck for them.
I tend to agree with you too, because in the second movie, Neo has a conversation with a program called the Architect, and the Architect explains how the first iterations of the Matrix were a paradise, basically like heaven, right? And but like humans wouldn't stay plugged into the Matrix, and they kept rejecting it, and they couldn't be used as batteries, right? And so then they made life more like the turn of the 20th century. Like that's where the movie starts. That's where, when the movie came out also, but that was like the reasoning for that. That's how they explain that.
Interesting. So my question, in the Matrix, it's 1999. Is it like always 1999? Or is it like, is it going to turn?
I assume they probably progress.
It's like Groundhog Day, but of 1
Prince
year.
would probably want that because he could party like it's 1999 all the time.
That's true. And if that's the question, and my other question is, at what point did they actually start the Matrix? So if the lives in Matrix progresses like history would have, did they like start with the 20th century, or did they start programming people in the Matrix and start with like, the like 1500s or something crazy?
And all I remember about the Matrix is a red pill and a blue pill.
The Dayquil or NyQuil?
Wasn't there a red pill and a blue pill? All right.
Yes, it was.
I'll keep learning from you guys.
I think it's which one was which? One of them lets you stay in the Matrix. I forgot which one. I just watched it yesterday.
It's a blue pill. The blue pill lets you stay in the Matrix.
The red pill's the one that's like, what's the one he took, right?
And the thing is, when they take a human out of the Matrix, the other humans don't really tell that person what they're getting into. They're just like, oh yeah, you're gonna leave the Matrix. Like, oh cool, I'll get to leave, see reality. And then can you imagine being that guy? Like, what's his name in the first movie wants to go back in the Matrix? I can't blame him. Like, you're sitting there, like, especially if you're like having like this awesome, amazing life in the Matrix, and then you get pulled out and you're just like, man, I live in a cave.
I live in a pod next to billions of other pods.
Like, hey, this is messed up.
Elon Musk doesn't want to get unplugged from the Matrix,
That's true.
It'd be terrible. And then even then, like the humans that are still alive, you think about it, the only reason that, the biggest reason, the robots would probably leave them alone in the real world if they would just stop unplugging the robots' batteries. Like if the humans would just stop taking people out of this this world, the Matrix, and bring them into this reality, which sucks, then the robots are probably like, oh snap, okay, they're done, that's cool.
Like the robots, so you can stay in your Zion, just leave it alone. Like they can't. Why can't they live like symbiotically? Or I guess they are symbiotic in a way, but like. Humans do their thing, robots do their thing, just two different civilizations. But
yeah. And the humans are evil because not only are they trying to kill off the robots, but like I said, they're pulling their own people into a world that lacks resources, that lacks like any sort of quality of life. For what?
How do you think they blacked out the sun? I was trying to think of that yesterday. I'm like, how do you just you can't just like make the sun disappear? Like you just pull a big giant sheet over the earth.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. A big old cardboard cutout in the shape of the sun. They hold it up against it. And Keanu Reeves, he's cool though. He travels through time in a phone booth. He's in the Matrix. Like he does all kinds of cool stuff, doesn't he?
Like in the movie season, you mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude.
Bill and Ted. I just saw the new Bill and Ted movie recently.
Oh, how is it? I haven't seen it yet.
It was a movie. No, it was good. Like for me, it was like nostalgic. Like it was more of that factor rather than being, good cinematic quality. But it was funny because it was just like the other ones, and it brought me back when I watched the first one.
Have you in the first Matrix movie when Morpheus jumps over the building, and he's like, "Whoa." Do you think he was trying to be like he was in Bill and Ted's? Like that, he for just that one moment he reverted back to that character.
He does that like in every movie though.
That's true.
Maybe it is the same character, and he just grew up to be like a computer programmer.
That's true. That makes sense.
I think we should do a whole episode on like weird movie conspiracy theories.
Yes.
There's like in the end of the movie The Matrix, when he's fighting Smith, he's like, "No, my name's Neo." Instead, he'd be like, "Was he Bill or Ted? I can't remember."
He's Ted.
He's Ted.
No, yeah.
So no, my name's Ted. That'd be way sweet.
You're being most heinous.
He's talking to the Agent Smith. He's like, "Be excellent to each other." That's sweet.
Sorry.
We're straight off topic.
That was my fault.
That's all right. Well, what are some other villains? So that was my thing. Anybody else have anything else on the Matrix robots? Because we kind of covered that, I think. But
I mean, I see where you're coming from, and I do agree with you. But the fact of the matter is, they're still nasty freaking robots. That like I wouldn't want to mess with one of those things. And I mean, they only exist because of humans. So humans, like you said, they're villains to themselves. Like they wouldn't. It's like every other, like Terminator or iRobot.
iRobot's a good one, yeah.
Eagle Eye or Wall-E. They're all the same idea, like these robots and stuff. But
that's true. I mean, I guess you could argue in some way. I wouldn't say the Terminator is so much the good guy. It's just that there's two sides of a war. So like, like the robots don't see themselves as villains in Terminator. They're just same thing. They're just trying to survive, man.
Ultron.
Yeah. And then when you see like Agent Smith talking to Morpheus at the end, he's like gripping his head. He's like, "I can smell your stink," and all this other stuff. Like that's pretty ruthless. So it's pretty mean to say. But
yeah, but he doesn't speak for the entire machine race.
Maybe he just doesn't know how to express himself because he's a robot.
Yeah. Plus, he's not even a robot. Actually, he's not even a robot. He's just a computer program.
Oh, okay.
Isn't like Skynet just like mindlessly destroying humans, or they're viewed as like obsolete? So it's kind of like fundamentally different. Where at least the robots in the Matrix are trying to provide some sort of quality of life, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Skynet's just like what? Yeah,
terminating.
Yeah, they're just terminating. I mean, it's kind of the human's fault, but at the same time,
right? Well, we turned it on. It's totally our fault. But
speaking of when I lived in Belgium, there was a IT company. I think my internet was through them, and their name was Skynet.
No way.
Yeah.
I would not want to have internet with them.
And then I was like, that's weird. And then I was looking up, because the Cyberdyne Systems, the ones that actually like made the robot, the manufacturers or whatever. Mm-hmm. So like in Japan, there was a manufacturing company called Cyberdyne. So I was like, if I ever hear about a merger between the two, we're done.
That's it.
That's it.
So another robot that could be perceived as a good guy, even though he's a villain, is David. You were going to bring up Ultron. What do you have to give?
Not much. I just remember Ultron was. It seems like a lot of Avengers villains are like this, but Ultron, he's a program that wanted to make things better for the people, but like he wanted to force them to do the right things so they would stop destroying each other. I don't know. I wasn't really going to say much about him other than. It reminded me of Ultron when you guys were talking. I'm not as up on the Matrix as I should be.
It's
I just thought of Ultron when you were talking about that stuff.
All of these robots that like take over in a lot of these movies, they're like disgusted by humans for some reason. It's like not even like okay, their side of the world. Like they're like absolutely abhor them. Like what are these inferior creatures? And like Ultron kind of does that same thing. He's like you're just destroying yourself. He calls them like puppets or something like that. I don't remember, but in the Matrix robots and
So that's all. I just thought of him.
Yeah, he's another good example. Dawson and I were talking yesterday about Xenomorphs from Alien, though.
Yeah, see, I would make that argument too. They're not really bad. I mean,
they're kind of bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't call them. No, I wouldn't call them the hero by any means. They're not the hero, but I wouldn't say they're bad. It's not any different than like here on Earth where you have a predator that attacks its prey. Except I don't think the Xenomorphs actually eat the people.
Well, they're just killing
eat people, or they just kill people for no discernible reason.
Well, they use them as hosts for their eggs. I think that kills them.
Yeah, that kills them. Yeah. So they don't. So the question is, what does a xenomorph?
They're just trying to reproduce, though. I mean,
dude, hey
do
man,
what you got. You got to do what you got to do.
You got, I mean, if
they're trying to preserve their.
Sometimes you gotta get a face hug,
Yeah. So sometimes, I mean, honestly, what's more important? Like this creature you've never seen before, of getting it on. Like.
Preserving your race at the expense of, like when it comes down to it, that's what you care most about is making sure you survive. So they don't think about the humans that they're implanting their eggs in, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're like the humans are just another creature to them. And in one case, I think an alien actually implants a predator. I think in one of the movies.
Oh yeah, in Predator versus Alien, but we're not going to talk about that. I like the Alien movies, and by Alien movies I mean 1 and 2.
Right. Ridley Scott is good.
Yeah, I liked Prometheus, even though it's a little bit different. But
that's Ridley Scott too. That's a really good movie, also. Yeah.
I haven't seen that one, but I did see Alien Covenant, and I wasn't that impressed with it.
That one I had not seen.
Now the Predator, though.
Oh, he's definitely not a good guy.
But who would you rather tangle with, Dave? If you have a predator in front of you and an alien in front, like who would you rather fight with, an alien or a predator?
I think I would rather just get some popcorn and let them fight each other.
The predator would be easier to fight because all you have to do is just not have a weapon. Then he won't fight you.
That's true. Or be pregnant. He doesn't. If you're pregnant, you're
or be pregnant. Yeah.
Well, I can't really do that, at least in my current state. So
that's what I understand about like the Predator movies is like there's always that point where someone realizes like, well, if I don't have a weapon, he won't fight me, and yet they still carry a weapon. Like even in like the first one, he's like, oh, it's the weapon. That's why. And then he's like, I'm still going to try to kill this thing. Like, why? Just leave him alone. He's going to get bored and leave. He's like, oh, there's nothing to kill here. I guess I'll just leave now.
If I had to choose between getting killed by one of them, though, I think I'd rather be killed by the predator than I would be killed by the alien. I feel like it'd be less painful and terrifying. Like, it's still gonna be horrible.
That's probably true.
That's true because he can kill you at a distance, little laser
little laser thing. Like, the alien's gonna, like, impregnate me or scratch me or, like, I don't know, all kinds of horrible things.
My question about the Predator movies. Are the predators that visit Earth just like the really crappy ones? Because some human always defeats them.
Humans,
like, if they're like humans. A good predator alien, like you think they would just not get defeated, especially by some human. So think of all the other animals and creatures and things that could be out there in the galaxy.
Humans
these
are
your
always better than
humans, though. These are like Arnold Schwarzenegger,
That's true.
For sure.
Not Danny Glover. You're telling me Danny Glover could take a predator?
I mean,
Danny Glover. Have you seen the Lethal Weapon movies? I mean, he's pretty rough on those.
1 through 4. I mean, any more evidence do we need?
So, but maybe you're right, Kevin. Maybe like the predators, whatever planet they're from, they're like, all right, we're gonna send you to Earth.
I feel like Earth is one of their first stops. It's like where the newbie predators go.
But haven't they learned?
Actually, no, it is. If you watch Predator versus Alien, they even say that they're the youthful ones, like new ones. They go there as a rite of passage to fight the Xenomorphs, right?
No Xenomorphs.
So like Earth is one of their first stops. They're like, hey, this predator doesn't really pristine hunter yet. Let's send him to Earth.
Have they not seen any of the other multiple alien invasions that our planet has fended off through the years? Independence Day, all the Avengers movies, like all these. Have they not seen how we always destroy the aliens every time?
Well, it's not like they have like CCTV of Earth like in their Predator world.
So
they should.
This circles back to another alien invasion, though, that kind of makes a good guy villain. In the movie E.T., Kevin, you had mentioned the government is the villain in the movie E.T.
The government is the villain in the E.T.
The government's always the villain.
No, actually, no. But here's the thing. They're portrayed as a villain, but they're not. That's a good example. The government's actually the hero. Because you think about it, look at it, you always have to look at it from another perspective. From Earth's perspective, they see this creature from another planet who just appears.
He just wants
we
to
don't know what
home,
that,
dude.
Yeah, but we don't know that. Like, yeah, Elliot
knew that. And
but humankind as a whole doesn't know that. And we're just trying to keep our own safety in mind.
He likes Reese's Pieces. It's a friendly dude. I mean, what? I would want to send him home.
But like, okay, David, if you saw E.T. just pop out of your closet, though, how would you respond? Like, would you be like, "Oh, cute thing"?
If he was mixed up with my stuffed animals, I might have some jollies about that. Like, oh, look how cute that is.
Wait. Your stuffed animals? Or your kid's stuffed animal?
I'm thinking from the kid's perspective.
Until he uses a little funky light finger and kills you with it. Because you got to think like because the ETs. I don't really remember ET that well, so I might be remembering this wrong. But can't they like siphon energy from the humans or something like that?
I don't know. I know you can put them in a basket on your bike. Put them in a basket on your bike, and he makes your bike fly.
So E.T. probably has some. He's in cahoots with the robots from the Matrix, man. It sounds like, based on what you're saying.
I don't know.
I'm energy source from humans.
So I'm wondering,
just saying the government's not entirely evil in that movie, or any of those movies like that, really. Because if you think about if you're a government and you're worried, something that is clearly from another planet is here, you're like, what's the first thing you think? Okay, is this something that's safe that we can deal with? It doesn't make you evil. It just means you're putting your own people's safety, I suppose, first, which I would do. If it's like you guys, if it's like, okay, I could save the life of this alien, or I could, ensure Earth is safe. I don't give a crap about that alien.
Who's to say E.T. might have been a scout for his race, and when he gets sent back, he'll know all of our intel, and they'll come and take over. That's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
He's phoning home to bring the army here, to
He's
bring
like, E.T.
reinforcements, man.
He's like, give me your speaking spell so I can phone home.
They're like, oh, okay, cute little alien. Next thing you know, Independence Day happens.
Right.
That's true.
It makes me think of that Twilight Zone episode with the cookbook. Have you ever seen that one?
No.
It's like these aliens, like they like meet humans, and they start to like get along with each other, and the humans discover the aliens have this book called the Cookbook, and they're cooking people or something weird like that. It's really
that reminds me of something on Simpsons I saw where an alien invaded, and he had a book that said how to cook for humans, and then Homer blew it out, and it's like, no, wait, we're cooking for humans, not for the number 4. Like maybe you haven't seen that episode of Simpsons. Never mind. I digress. So what about Thanos is what I'm saying.
Okay, that's a good
All
one.
right. If Thanos is a good one.
Like, he was considered a villain to half the universe that he destroyed, really. But like, he thought he was doing what was right, what needed to be done, so he could start civilization, so civilization could start over and in a better way. So obviously, he killed half of all the living things to do that, but really wasn't his end game a good thing?
Thanos is a good guy for half the people. Like,
But is he really a good guy for those people? Those people just didn't get snapped, you know.
that's
He
true.
didn't know. He didn't know
Like
which
pro
ones weren't going to get
Thanos.
snapped.
you know?
Like, it was just the luck of the draw. He didn't say,
Right.
"Okay, I'm choosing you." It's just whoever
Sure.
disappeared. So like, it's not like he was fighting for those individual people.
This is like genocide fueled by extreme depression from this guy. Like he just really needs some Prozac. That's all that's going on here. And he's like, no Prozac. No, I'm going to kill half of my only life.
At least in the movies, like, you know, it kind of gave him, had like a somewhat noble reason. If I understand the comic books, the only reason why Thanos kills everybody is because he wants to.
He's in love with death. he's like, I'm going to impress her by killing half.
Which goes back to our Xenomorph conversation, where you'll do anything to reproduce.
Sometimes you just need a face hug.
But you could make a case for the Thanos from the movies. I think you're right. It could be a small case, but the one from the comic, maybe not so much. But
Well, then again, the Thanos from the like, he also killed his, like, he was willing to sacrifice everything. I don't know if that's, he killed his daughter to be able to kill everyone else, I guess. But
I'm
like,
sorry.
either that shows that he's really, I mean, he's really passionate about it. Does he really want to save people, or does he really want to kill half the people? I don't know.
yeah.
But at least he's sad about it. I couldn't kill my own daughter, that's for sure.
It brings in the whole biblical Abraham thing, I guess.
Interesting. There's one more I want to talk about. I mean, if you have those others, you can talk about them too. But I want to talk just for a moment about dinosaurs from Jurassic Park. So, granted, not all of them are seen as villains, like the
ones that are
like
herbivores.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
Are seen as good.
Yeah, but like that T-Rex, that poor thing, it's just like, it's doing what T-Rexes do. It's not trying to be mean. It's just like, it's
true.
a hunter. Same with the
The
raptors.
Yeah, I mean, the people brought them back. It's not their fault they got brought back into the 20th century, right? And they're hungry. That they aren't going to eat treat. Are they going to eat plants just because they get, brought back in a later time? They still have their carnivoric instincts, right?
Exactly. And like,
I think this is an argument for a lot of monster movies, really. Like Dinosaur, Godzilla. Godzilla's not really an evil monster. He's just doing his Godzilla thing.
Destroying Tokyo.
Tokyo again. The thing is, sometimes Godzilla is portrayed as the good guy when he fights like another monster.
Right. Yeah, like against Rodan and especially the earlier movies.
So how do we determine which monsters are bad and which ones are good, or like how come Godzilla's bad sometimes and good other times?
it's because he's a lizard.
Whatever the director of that particular Godzilla movie prefers.
All I know is that baby Godzilla is the ultimate evil and looks awful.
From the Matthew Broderick movie?
Yeah.
There's only one good thing that comes out of the Matthew Broderick movie. And it's when he's like talking to all the French guys in their car and they are like chewing gum. He's like, "Why are you guys all chewing gum?" He's like, "Makes us look more American." And it's so true, it does. So like, it's the only good part in that entire movie.
But when that was a big deal when it came out, though. Didn't it come out around the same time as Jurassic Park? It was like,
It came out shortly after. Did you guys know they actually included American Godzilla into like Godzilla canon as a separate monster from like the regular Godzilla?
oh,
Interesting. Because
I
they
think-
look so
I didn't
different.
realize there was a
I think at one
Godzilla
point,
canon.
I don't know if it was in a book or a video game or what, but at one
Yeah,
point, I think
David.
the American Godzilla fights like the Japanese Godzilla.
That's pretty awesome.
That would be interesting. I'd be down with seeing that.
right?
Also, speaking of Godzilla, I'm actually in a Godzilla movie.
That's right. I remember I was supposed to be in Captain America Winter Soldier, but didn't
Oh,
work
I
out.
would have been jealous of that one. So, does King Kong he attacks New York all the time, right? And Godzilla attacks Tokyo?
Oh, King Kong. Well, I can't really say King Kong's a villain. That's actually a good guy because they kind of address the fact that he's a villain. It's actually a good guy in the movie itself.
But don't they take him out of his natural land to show him
Yeah.
off? And
And that's kind of the whole point of that. Well, at least the original one. That's kind of the whole point. Is they take him to New York, and he's just scared and confused.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Can't
he
blame
sees
him.
a pretty girl, he grabs her and puts her on top of a building. I mean, he's just trying to help her. I don't know. Maybe.
But I think Jurassic Park is. I don't know if you've seen the newer Jurassic Park movies. I haven't seen the second of the newer ones, but like they make this crazy monster dinosaur.
Oh, the extra big Tyrannosaurus Rex or whatever.
Yeah, like that's a little bit crazy. So what we're finding from a lot of these is the villains actually end up being us, the humans, who like just take science just a little bit too far or something like that.
All right. Well, let's take it away from humans then altogether. All right, hear me on this one. The hyenas from The Lion King. Not Scar. Scar's a jerk. But the hyenas. Look at the movie from the hyenas' perspective. Mufasa banishes them to the elephant graveyard, right? So they're in a place where they have no food and like, or anything.
Absolutely.
And
Sure.
the lions are always like basically punking them out and like treating them like crap. All the hyenas want is equality. Scar offers it to him. Of course, he ends up not being able to like follow up on his promise, but which I'm pretty sure he knew, which is why I think he's a jerk. But from the hyenas' perspective, they're just trying to get better lives for themselves.
And
That's true.
I never thought about that. Like, hyenas are just trying to coexist in the African safari, man. Like,
I think, well, since Dawson's here, going the cartoon route, and the fairy tale route, the other ones I thought of, Dawson, earlier was the giant from Jack and the Beanstalk. He's just living in the clouds with his chicken that lays golden eggs, and Jack comes up and destroys his whole world. But yet the giant's considered the bad person. I don't understand.
Right. No, I completely agree. I think the giant total good guy, Jack, is a jerk. I mean, he's trying to steal his golden goose, and just make a profit off of the giant,
And then the other one too. Exactly. And then Goldilocks and the Three Bears. How is Goldilocks bad? Or good, I mean. She goes and she invades their place. They just want to chill, and someone's been
She's a felon.
breaking and entering. So there's all kinds of
the hyenas though. I don't know about that one, because I think like after Scar takes over and the Pride Land, they're ultimately a destructive force, and they ravage the Pride Land, and that was the balance that Mufasa was bringing to the Pride Lands. Right, it was like, okay, the hyenas have to go over there because they're just going to destroy everything anyway. Right. And so once they were allowed in by Scar, everything is like dead and desolate.
They don't really believe in the circle of life. They just
I don't think they're
getting everything they can get for themselves.
They're just gluttonous.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's interesting though. I mean, I know it's just all for effect and dramatic effect, but like when Scar's taken over and the hyenas there, like the sky's gray now. Like whatever they did somehow made the sun disappear.
They blacked out the sky. Now the machines are fighting back.
Yes. Well, it's kind of like the Lorax. All the trees are gone. They're gone. So that's what causes bad atmosphere. And
that's true.
They burned down. Everything got burnt down.
They scorched the sun. They were fighting the machines.
We talked about Gaston last time, didn't we?
Just
yeah,
briefly.
Gaston's another one, man. He's just trying to save his land, from his kingdom from the Beast. The Beast is this, they perceive him as an evil person, and really he was. Go back to the beginning of the movie. The only reason he's the Beast to begin with is because he turned away that girl he thought was ugly instead of welcoming her in and helping her. So Gaston's just trying to protect his kingdom.
That brings me back to Xenomorphs, because Xenomorphs don't care if their breeding ground is ugly or not. They just take care of business.
Get it done.
Here's a face hug.
At least they're hugging you for it, man. Xenomorphs are so nice.
They love hugs, man. They just
and very affectionate people. They're very affectionate people.
So, and as far as the whole Pokemon, I see my son has a Pokemon mug over here.
Ooh, Mewtwo. Oh, that's a good. I didn't even think about that one. Good job, David.
I was going to go on the other side, but I know this is for future. Don't you think like Ash and Brock and all these guys, they're these big heroes, but to the Pokemon, are they? They just capture them and keep them in these little balls till they're ready to make them fight. So
that's true. That is kind of
that's
brutal.
more of like a good guy being a villain. So I guess I'm switching. But
I feel like we should switch it up next time and do heroes that are actually villains.
Let's do it. All right.
But
sounds good.
With Pokemon, Mewtwo is not a villain.
Yeah, it's true. He just another situation where science went too far.
Yeah.
Science
And
is the bad guy. I like your idea of heroes that are actually villains, though. There's lots of examples of those, for sure, out there. And I like stories where it's not really clear who's the villain or the good guy. I like when you can find a story like that, because then you don't really know who to root for. I think it makes it more interesting, more real, for sure.
It's kind of cool to think of different perspectives than what the movie wants you to think. Like think from other people or book or whatever the story is, to think of the other perspectives. So very good. But I think I got to bounce, dudes. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's a good session. Thanks for joining us, Dawson.
Yeah,
absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
We'll have you back again sometime. It was good to have you, and I hope y'all have a good, safe 2021.
It's turning out to be quite the year already.
Yes, it is. We're still going to have fun. 21 and fun, eh? The four of us, the three of us.
That's right.
You said 4 and 3, so which one of us is going to disappear in 2021?
Well, no, I mean, because Dawson's not here every time we do an episode.
David's the oldest and the baldest, so.
Hey, man, but I think my health is pretty good, though, man. Maybe a little bit better than yours.
It probably is. My health is terrible.
Just kidding. I think I got
Dawson's the healthiest. He's like super jacked and like.
That's true.
Dawson could take on a predator right now. That's all I'm saying.
I've been jealous of your pictures on Facebook lately. You've been doing something to better your physique. I'll say that.
I'm trying.
I've been doing plenty to change my physique, just not in a way that I want to.
That sounds
and by doing so, I'm
like
not doing stuff.
Yeah,
I'm going to not exercising and eating excessively route.
That is more delicious, though. So there are positives and negatives to both sides of the coin.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
I'm thinking right now, between the four of us, if we all had to face down a xenomorph or a predator, I think Dawson stands the best chance.
I'll be the first one to go.
I would not want to do that, though. I do not want to do that. No, I'd take the xenomorph, though, because at least, if I had a flamethrower nearby, I'd feel, like the.
You have a flamethrower?
Yeah, I was going to say, you just have a flamethrower in your closet or something?
Yeah, I'm going through Predator. I'm just going to not be armed. And Predator's going to be like, oh, snap. All right, never mind. Cool.
I just feel like he'd come in on me in my kitchen when I had like a knife and I was like chopping vegetables, but he's like, oh, sweet. We're going at it.
That's true.
No, this is just a tool.
Let's do this.
Right. I wasn't trying to hurt you, I promise.
I just want to cut this cucumber.
Carrots.
Dude, that'd be terrible. A Predator would make a terrible roommate. You can never cook anything. You can never do anything. Like you can open packages. Like, come on, let me get these scissors. Predator's like, is that a weapon? Oh, man. All right, nope. So we don't want Predator as a roommate. I think we decided this.
That'd be a sweet little comic bit. We should make that. If my roommate was a predator,
that's like
that's a good.
That's a movie that needs to be made like now.
They did a whole thing with Thor and Thor's roommate. So we could do unlikely roommates as something too.
That'd be so fun.
It has to have some like really cheesy '90s movie title, like that darn predator.
I like that. Unlikely roommates. You would be a great, and I have a great one. Predator and Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, there you go. All right, dudes. We're down to less than a minute, so we'll catch up to you next time. See you next time on the Brothers Born podcast.
See you, Dawson. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Have a good one.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for listening to episode 1 of That's Right, season 2 of the Brothers Born podcast. It's a new season because it's a new year. 2021 and fun, baby. We started this year off with a continuation of the villains discussion that we were ending on in 2020. It's pretty fun, and we got to bring a special guest today. Thanks, Dawson Oliver, for joining us. We hope to bring you back again real soon, and we hope to bring more folks onto our show. It's one of the things we're planning on doing in this new year. I want to take a moment to thank Marcus Spisky for letting us borrow his background image of The Matrix. We found that image at unsplash.com and invite you to look out more of his stuff there. We've had a little bit of a slow start this new year, but we're excited for all the things coming down the pipeline. If you want to help us out, give us a like and a share on Facebook, Brothers Born Podcast. Or if you're feeling really generous, leave us a positive review on whatever podcatcher you use. Either way, stay tuned.